Okay, so hi Ian.
Hello.
All right, hey
How you
man,
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for taking the time out of your day here at Zenfolio HQ in Menlo Park to let me kind of get behind the scenes here. So I was telling on a previous show, I was telling the This Week in Photo listeners that I was coming here to chat with you because, as you know, I did an interview with the Smug Mug guys, which is
Right.
another player in the space.
Yep.
So I wanted to sort of balance it and have a conversation with you about how the company here got started, what you guys are about, and kind of give people an insight into Zenfolio and the kind of products that you guys offer.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
So let's start with you. So
Okay.
Ian Stone, I've known you for years, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we met at Pictage back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what were you doing at Pictage?
At Pictage, I was doing sales, so I was basically talking to photographers, you know, educating them about Pictage's services and talking to them about their needs,
Yep.
and recommending a plan that made sense for their business.
Cool. And then you left Pictage, became an educated elite, and then now you're running marketing here at Zenfolio, a huge player in the space, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I actually handle business development here.
Okay.
So it's kind of a combination of sales and marketing, and I work with all of our partners, other companies in the industry to do different co-marketing campaigns
Yeah.
and offer special discounts to our users.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did an MBA recently, and
Congratulations.
before I joined, thanks. Before I joined here at Zenfolio,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a great experience. And since then, just been rocking it here.
That's cool. So your history in photography itself, are you yourself a photographer? Do you shoot?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
I don't do it for a living, but I do shoot.
Yeah.
I've been big into the mirrorless lately.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really.
That's interesting.
Really
Yeah.
liking those cameras.
So am I. I'm gonna have to pick your brain on which one to buy. Then.
Yeah, yeah. There's some pluses and minuses on all of them, as with anything.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's just another tool.
Totally.
I studied photography in my undergrad,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's all about knowing the fundamentals of photography and light and exposure and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That whether it's a film camera or a DSLR or now this newer technology, it's really just about those main principles.
Yeah, because the physics and the fundamentals of light and the art of photography doesn't shift around like the technology does. So
Exactly.
I preach this on the show all the time. People say, "Yeah, I've heard that before," but it's if you grasp those fundamentals of how things work, then you can apply that to whatever pops up.
Exactly.
And it just
Exactly.
gives you. I was like, oh, and you understand what's happening. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's allowing me to do this now, whereas before I had to do that manually. And now I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So I like to do the type of photography that doesn't make you any money. Typically landscapes and
Bees in the backyard.
yeah, nature stuff and little concerts and whatnot. But
Yeah, yeah.
but I do love shooting, and I love sharing my images with folks.
That's cool. Okay, so let's talk about the sharing piece. So,
Sure.
Zenfolio. Let's start at the beginning. You weren't here when the company started, obviously.
Right.
But you're here now. Give me some insight, or give us some insight into what Zenfolio is and why it was created. Because there's a lot of businesses out there,
Sure.
SmugMug, like we mentioned, being one of them, that do similar or same things. What makes Zenfolio different, or even before that, how'd the company get formed?
Well, the company started by our group of core group of founders who were all very into photography, very visual people, and they wanted to come up with a service that would really allow people to present their photos in the most elegant possible way, with a very high level of ease with it.
Yeah.
So
Low friction.
low friction, very simple to use, kind of a point and click type interface where people didn't need to know any kind of coding. And since then, our service has really evolved a lot. Now, not only do we do the sharing and gallery hosting, but we also provide the full solution for photographers to have their website online, to sell prints, to do all their marketing, and we can get into some of those nuts and bolts later. But essentially, the main idea is that we kind of bring all these things into one place, and because we're photographers, we're always sort of we're always sort of updating the service with features that we know our users will like
Yeah.
because we ourselves are using
You're
these
eating
same.
your own dog food, and you're like, oh, this doesn't work right, or I'm hitting a roadblock here. Let's adjust it. Whereas
Exactly.
if you're not building it in a vacuum,
Exactly.
yeah, that's cool. So who would you say is your target market? Is it the wedding shooters and portrait shooters, or is it just pretty much anybody that creates a pixel?
Pretty much anybody that creates a pixel.
Hmm.
Yeah, for the most part, we do have a good amount of pros that use Zenfolio,
Hmm.
but there are some people out there that want something more than just Flickr or Picasa.
Yeah.
And we have plans to kind of meet all the different needs of all those varying levels of photographers.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, the core message is the same. Really, we give photographers the ability to put their images online in a visually stunning way without having to know any of the technology back end, designing HTML or
Right.
CSS or any of that kind of stuff. So we handle the heavy lifting and let the photographers sort of focus on their passion.
Which is shooting. Right?
Shooting,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So take me through. And by no means is this going to be a Zenfolio sort of sales video or anything, right?
Yeah.
But I want to get into the nuts and bolts of the pricing because that's Smugmug and other companies, they've come under fire for their pricing recently.
Mhm.
I don't want to do a comparison, but I want to understand how Zenfolio has priced things.
Sure.
Like what are the pricing tiers, and what do people get for those different pricing tiers?
Sure. Well, you can see all the detailed features on our pricing page on our site.
Mhm.
But essentially, our top plan is $250 a year.
Yeah.
That one's called our premium business package,
Mhm.
and that's meant for the pros who need the highest level of support. You get live chat support where you can instantly have your questions answered. You also have the ability to kind of edit orders after they're placed.
Mhm.
So you have a lot more control with that account. So for someone who's selling a larger volume of their work,
Yeah.
someone who wants that little bit better service, a little bit better features,
Yeah.
they can get that with premium business.
Okay.
They also do have the ability to sell what we call self-fulfilled products.
Mm.
So basically, a product that you would create in your studio, whether it's your own sort of hand-stitched book or whatever it is, you can sell that through your website. And if you're on the premium business plan, it's a 0% commission fee for those products.
So it costs me nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there are commission fees on the lower plans for that.
Sure.
So, and there's lots of other benefits to the premium business. One step down from there is our premium plan.
Mhm.
That's $120 a year, and it's a fully featured website solution that allows you to do, selling at a profit,
Mhm.
all of your marketing and SEO stuff.
Mhm.
It's really all kind of built into that one package. And that's, again, those two packages are meant for pros who are actually working and selling. We also do have some lower packages. For example, we have a $60 unlimited plan,
Mhm.
which gives you unlimited storage space, gives you the ability to use a custom domain name to order prints and products from your site
Okay.
at the base lab prices.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it.
So essentially, you can't upsell those products at a profit,
Mhm.
but you can purchase them yourself, and you can have people who visit your galleries purchase them.
So that would be good for people that they love to shoot like you, right? You love
Yeah.
to shoot and
Love
say
to
you want to
shoot.
build a gallery for your family, and
Totally.
you don't want to make any money off of them.
Totally.
You just want to give them the ability to go buy the stuff.
Totally, and
Okay.
they're professional products, so they're great quality. The great thing about that is they can also password protect or make private these galleries.
Good, 'cause I was gonna ask that.
Like you mentioned, for family, for stuff like that. Maybe you don't want these pictures to be seen by the entire public.
Yeah.
And searchable on Google and so forth.
Right.
So
So you can turn that off.
You can turn that off. You can password protect galleries and so forth for specific groups.
Now, what about from the standpoint of, because most photographers, myself included, already have a blog, that's going.
Mhm.
I'm happy with it. Put a lot of work into it. But on the back end, ideally, what I'd like to see, if I was to put a Zenfolio solution in place, would be I want a seamless transition over from my blog to my gallery sort of shopping experience.
Sure.
On the one hand, but that's me. I can also see the case where somebody may not have a blog already, and they just want to build this for their studio. So how does Zenfolio handle those two
Well,
cases?
we do have a blogging tool built into Zenfolio, and this was something for a while that was one of our top requested features, and we delivered on it. That's kind of one thing that we do is we listen to our users and we come out with features that they're asking for.
Sure.
So in terms of using a blog that you already have versus setting up a new one on Zenfolio, basically it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. Because Zenfolio is so customizable, you can build your Zenfolio site to have the same look and feel as your blog site if you choose to do so. Another thing you can do is import a blog. You can import a WordPress blog. You can import various different blogs into your Zenfolio blog so that you don't lose all your old posts.
Do you have control over the CSS and all that stuff on the back end if you want to skin it to look like your own experience or your own blog?
Yes and no. I mean, we don't provide CSS and HTML modifications.
Yeah.
But what you can do is just kind of again use the theme designer and our point and click tools to make it have that same look and feel, essentially.
Yeah. And I was playing around with it, and I got to say, and I told you this, after I started playing around with it, that I think I had my gallery up like within that first night of just sort of sitting with the laptop, watching Netflix, and just sort of poking around and turning switches and looking at it and all that. And I had a pretty good looking site going in around an evening.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people when they start out with Zenfolio, they say that they get their site up in 30 minutes or an hour. But the thing is, it's a very robust system. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can customize. There's a lot you can add. There's a lot you can take away.
Yeah.
So, for the most part, what people do when they start out, and it's probably what you did, is uploaded some images, filled out the basic, pages that we provide, like the About Us and your bio and your contact info and stuff like that. And that's a good starting point. And that's what a lot of people think about as like the basic nuts and bolts of their website.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, then you can actually start really digging into some of the more custom and detailed features on Zenfolio where maybe you're removing certain buttons or you want to make your buy now button stick out a little bit more. So you want to change that to a red color or something like this. Again, it depends on the colors on your site and what you want your strategy to be.
Yeah.
But you can control all that stuff.
Now when you look at the person or the photographer that Zenfolio is looking at as the target customer, are these sort of like us, right? We're not shooting 100% professionally, but we know what we're doing behind the camera. Those people, or is it the Madison Avenue studio, photographer, Andy Leibovitz, those kind of people? Or where's the sweet spot for Zen in the middle of that?
I mean, I think the sweet spot is exactly somewhere in the middle of that. Obviously for us guys like you and I, it makes a ton of sense. Someone like Annie, she might want more of a custom flashy site. And that's fine. One of the cool things about Zenfolio is you don't really have to use it for everything. So there's some people that they want their flashy site and this and that, but they still want to have the gallery hosting, the ability to sell prints and stuff like that without having to do all that legwork themselves.
Right.
So you have some people out there who they may just want to use the gallery hosting side of it, and they set up a simple Zenfolio page. They can actually use a subdomain on their URL, andyleibovitz.com/shop, for example. Have that point to their Zenfolio home, and it's just the galleries. And they can actually design the look and feel of that Zenfolio page to mimic their main site.
That's cool.
So they can use the same header and logo, use the same background color or pattern, and from the end user, their client's experience, they never know that they left the site.
That's cool.
So, some people think, oh, well, yeah, I have a website already. I don't need that. I just need some gallery hosting.
It's not an either or proposition.
It's not.
Right. And
It's really not.
A lot of people think that with a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I can only like I think I put a post on Google Plus the other day because someone was talking about going whole hog into iPhone photography and
Hmm.
leaving their DSLR. I'm like, why do you have to go one or the other? Can't you enjoy both?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, you can have chocolate in your peanut butter. It's
Exactly.
not like so. Okay, so with that, give me some tips, or give them some tips on how to use Zenfolio. You know, like what are some
Yeah.
insider things that people that are maybe using it right now, or maybe haven't even started using it to get more mileage out of it, or things they may not have known about.
Well, I don't have any specific tips that I can come up with right now,
Yeah.
but we do always post a lot of great tips on our blog.
Okay.
We also put out a book that sort of, and I'll give you a link. You can put it
Is
up
it
on the
ebook
site.
or a PDF?
Yeah, it's an
Okay.
ebook.
Okay.
You can put it up on the site for people to download, and it
Yeah.
basically goes through a lot of the features on Zenfolio,
Cool.
and kind of talks about SEO and what's important.
You guys got videos up there too. Like
We do, yeah. There's video webinars.
There's a ton of like cool like just because I watched. I'm a video guy, right?
Yeah.
I think the older I get, the lazier I get, and I just want to like, okay, just give me the information. Don't make me work for it, you know.
For sure.
So I sit there and I just sort of went through all the videos and like, oh, okay, now I get the metaphor of how
Yeah.
the back end works, you know.
The good thing about the PDF book is you can actually kind of back and forth reference
Right.
it as you're doing stuff in your account.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the cool things about the SEO when you use Zenfolio is the way that we give you the tools to get it all set up and keyworded and all that.
Yeah.
But the way that the search engines kind of look for content is they almost see the site twice. For example, your photography site. It's hosted on Zenfolio, but you also have your own domain name.
Right.
So it's kind of coming up in both of those searches, which results in better SEO rankings for you.
Excellent.
So this is one reason that we recommend using all the parts of Zenfolio,
Yeah.
because it does help your SEO and it does help get your name out there a little bit better.
Love it.
But back to what I said earlier is you can pick and choose what parts you want to use.
That's really cool. So I know you got a lot to do today, so I wanna let you go. But I know we talked before we started recording that you guys have set up a discount. I always press for a discount for the TWIP listeners. I don't know what it is. I got to get a discount out of people.
For sure.
So what can you do? I know you set up a code TWIP20.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So it'll be 20% off for the
Okay.
first year.
Okay.
Great way to try us out. We do have a 14-day free trial,
Okay.
so people can sign up for the trial, and then if they decide to become a paid member, they can just put in that promo code and get going that way.
That's awesome.
We also have a 30-day full money-back guarantee. So for whatever reason, someone joins and they decide, hey, it's not for me anymore. We do provide that.
Just turn it off and you're done.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's very zen of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Ian Stone. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome, man. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me and the This Week in Photo listeners. And I'm sure we'll do this again. We'll
All right.
keep it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right.